What's up, you guys? It's your girl Alexandria B with Wall Street Been Black, and we are back at it. Another Sunday swing trade watch list of the week. Before we even get started, though, I want to send out a very happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there, whether you are a mom, a grandmother, an aunt, an amazing godmother. If them kids love you, have a special day today. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off and talk about earnings, because there's a couple of companies that report this week that I'm looking at on the investing side of it, and let's catch a swing trade on it too. Particularly on Tuesday before market open, we have Home Depot, and then Thursday before market open, we have Walmart. We saw what Target did. My eyes are all on there, okay? Now, Wednesday before the market opens, we also have Hutt, which is a crypto mining company. I encourage you to do your due diligence on that company. Go all in on it, all right? So let's go ahead and head over and look at what we have on the economic calendar as well. So what I have pulled up is Forex Factory. There's 3 different websites that you can look at, and I'll make sure that I link them down below in the description. I personally enjoy Econo Day to look at the economic data, because when I click on, let's say that on Tuesday we have PPI. If you don't know what the producer price index is, on Econo Day, you can actually click on it and it'll pull up the definition for you. I love a resource that will teach me while I'm on that resource. I don't want to have to read a book and have a dictionary and a thesaurus pulled up next to me. You know what I'm saying? Market Watch is really great to use, and I think that's what people typically go to. You can't click on it for definitions, but it does show you the previous week, current week, and the upcoming week. And then Forex Factory, I actually think that this is the most used. It's the most used. And what people will do is they'll go on and they'll have the filter set to where all they see is the red folders. The red folders on Forex Factory is key. Market moving economic data. All right. It is so important for you to start your week off knowing what is on this economic calendar, because investors need a reason to open up their portfolio and get price moving. This economic calendar will let you know. So from looking at this on Monday, I'm going to mind my business. There will be no action in the market on Monday, so we have another day to prepare. All right, now Tuesday, we have that PPI, that producer price index, followed by CPI, consumer price index, on Wednesday. Jobless claims on Thursday, of course, a couple Fed speakers. Be prepared to see some volatility in the market this week, my babies. It's game time. All right, so y'all already know that your girl, instead of looking at the ETF SPY and QQQ, I start my week off looking at the futures tickers, ES and NQ. You probably should too. Amen. So we're going to kick it off with ES, which is the futures for the S&P 500. And baby, I see what I see. I see what I see. For me, the very first thing that I look at on any chart is the volume. Price action, volume is the king, to be honest. To me. And it works for me over here, okay? So let's just go ahead and let's look at this. I'm on the weekly chart, and we can see this low from October 2022. All right, then it did this bull flag back down to the previous resistance and this demand zone, and it created, all right, because we're going back to November 2020, where this level was absolutely buying. This was the dip of October 2022 coming out of the bear market. October 2023, we got this flag that worked its way right back over this trend line to where we are when we took this dip in April of 2024. All right, when you understand that, as this pulled back, this is how I want y'all to relay this to yourself. As price was dropping, as price was selling off, the sellers stepped in at this all-time high. Beautiful evening star pattern. But as price was selling off, the selling volume was increasing. All right. As price was moving up, the bullish volume was decreasing. All right, stick with me, okay? Now I'm gonna delete these levels down here. I'm gonna put them right back. But this is the zone that we are currently in, from this all-time high of 53.30. I'm gonna just round up, 53.27, 53.30, 53.33, all-time high. And this is where we see that price was pulling back, right? We came back over it. Boom, boom, boom. Let me go to the daily, actually. Right. The weekly is here, where it was previous resistance for a couple of days, right? Held it as support, attempted to hold it as support, held this level as resistance. We brought back over it, again, with low volume. But here's the thing, y'all. Don't it have to retrace? It's okay. If this pulls back, as long as we hold this 5150, please. I'm not ready for the market to shift. Let's pull back and hold this, okay? And then work our way back on up to there. Now, I know that as you're looking at this on the daily, you're saying, okay, well, this is a lower low than here. Let's go to the weekly. This the last low on the weekly, my baby. We have a higher low. We just want to make sure we hold this to ensure that we stay and continue to have a higher low. All right, so I'm absolutely looking for the market to pull back a little bit. The bulls did not show up, not as strong. They did, we had 6 bullish days or 7 bullish days in a row. Love it, but the range was decreasing as well as the bullish volume was just not there. I'm absolutely, again, expecting for price to pull back. Now, if I turn on these averages, the 20 or the yellow is my 20 moving average and the blue is my 50. We do have a bearish crossover there. This has not worked its way back up to cross above the 50 EMA yet. We don't have a bullish crossover with our moving averages. If price pulls back and it holds this level, it'll meet that 20 EMA. And our expectations is that price will then move up and that 20 EMA will move up with it and cross above the 50. See where I'm going with it? I want price to pull back. If this continues to work its way up to all-time high with low volume, I'm not going to believe, and I wouldn't take a single trade above all-time high if this continues to pull back up with low volume. Now, I do want to point out that MACD made a bullish crossover and RSI also made a bullish crossover. Now, we do have RSI on the daily is above 50. With the moving average right there toeing the line at the 50.35, and MACD did make a bullish crossover, but it's still in bearish, or it's still in the bearish values down here, negative values, I should say. Which is letting me know the bullish momentum is there, but not quite, right? Not quite. And again, we can see on the weekly with the decreasing, this pulling back because we did hold the 20 MA. I just need the volume to show up and to match it. All right. So now if we look at NQ. We have the same setup. Lots of levels. Oh, Lord. I forgot to add those levels back on ES. I'll do it in a minute. Lots of levels here. Stick with me. It's really the same setup, all right? I'm not going to delete, somebody remind me to add these lines back. All right, so y'all see we have this same setup with the moving averages, right? But on NQ, which is the futures ES for NASDAQ 100, heavily tech weighted, all right? It is the largest non-financial companies on the market. The top 100 largest non-financial companies. So holding the 50 MA, now this 20 a little show is down there now. Okay, so again, look at this. This was a low volume pull back up. It was decreasing. In fact, as it went up, we had a 3 gap up pattern. It did kind of start, did a little reversal, held that level up here. So this 18,357, I'm not really looking for a break above here. It's nothing but sell off up here. Look at all these upper wicks and the tweezer top of it all. That's selling. Okay. I need you to come back down and find some support with a bullish crossover before I play NQ to the upside at all. I'm going into this week looking for a pullback just based off of looking at ES and NQ. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at our tickers from last week's swing trade watch list to see how we can re-enter or scale out, and then look at a couple more tickers for this upcoming week. Now, before we get into it, looking at Costco, I got to give a shout out to some of my mentees. All of my mentees, honestly, my babies. I see y'all putting that work in. I am so proud. Definitely have to give a special shout out to two of y'all, Miss D and Miss C. Y'all killed it on Costco this week. Y'all make me look good. I love y'all to death, and scale out this week. All right, amen. Don't, hey. But let's go ahead and just hop right into the chart. Listen, at this point, it's at all-time high. So there's a few things that I do that make sense to me, so I can figure out, okay, what am I doing next? First off, let's just go ahead and mark off where the previous all-time high was, where it was holding it as this resistance, and we'll just go ahead and put it at the 600 level here, right? We blasted up over there. Have we pulled back to retest it? No. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is look at the forecast, the 1 year forecast, you know, to get a good gauge. 865. Oh, baby, we finna ride this out. 865. You mean to tell me you got another $100 to go? Yeah, it's going to pull back at some point. All right, so this is what I'm going to do as well, is I'm going to pull up the Fibonacci extension, because this is definitely extended, right? And we'll do it from this low here, and then we'll drag it up to the highs that we're at. And then the fib level should fill it out for us for where it would go up above that, right? All right. So now we have these Fibonacci levels. And if y'all want a video tutorial on how to use Fibonacci levels and what are Fibonacci sequences, comment down below and I'll make sure I get that video up for y'all this week. All right, so beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Where we placed our level at here is the 0.5, and no, don't adjust that. Move that back, and we're gonna just adjust our level to put it right on there. So 596.17 is the 0.5 level, and of course we want to go ahead and mark off the 618. It's the golden ratio inside of the golden zone. All right, where we see that price pulled back here. Now I am on the monthly, baby, because we just needed to go on up. We see the highs that we're at now. Now the price target for the year is 865, right? So we'll put a level there, and of course they have this 1,000 up there, but child, we're gonna do this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. And look how quickly I was able to mark off the entire range that we're in. Now, I color code my charts, if you know, you know. So that when I go down on lower time frames, I'm not confused about what I'm looking at. And we need to see where price will pull back, because it's not going to go straight up. Do we see that it has another $100 push up based off of the analyst projections? Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. But it's not going to push straight up there. So this is what we have on the monthly. Let's go down to the weekly, where we have this beautiful setup that we've been tracking for the last 2 swing trade watch lists. So if you want to see how we set it up, how we entered, how we rocking it out like this, make sure that you go back to the last 2 swing trade watch list videos. Because we caught this absolutely stunning falling wedge, breaking out of it, holding on to this trade for the last 2 weeks. Please scale out. All right, because we came back up here to this all-time high. I am not expecting for this to just blast off through here. It should absolutely pull back, and perhaps even pull back to this 753. Yeah, pulling back towards that 753. They do have earnings approaching at the end of May. So again, if you are already in this, please expect to see a pullback. They have earnings reporting in a couple of weeks. Expect to see this pull back. I personally think that they're going to do amazing during earnings. I want to say and blast off, but y'all, was y'all there for Q1 earnings report we just went through? Meta, Amazon, child, okay? Buy time on this one. Absolutely buy time, but expect for price to pull back and look for it to find support around the 756, 760 range before you do. Now, if we pull it up for our averages as well, on the daily, we got the 20 crossing above the 50. Loves. Absolutely held this 20. Let's come down to the 4 hour. Yeah, and on the 4 hour, we have the 20 in here, right at the top of this range that we were looking. I thought price would pull back here, right? Y'all know we were looking for that last week. I thought it would go ahead and pull back. We didn't get it. It went ahead and pushed to all-time highs. So yeah, again, with these averages right here, the 20, I'm looking for a pullback towards the 750, 760 range for re-entry, and then I will buy if their earnings is coming up in May or towards the end of May, and then the next earnings report will mind y'all's business. Oh Lord, mind y'all's business. And I'm not gonna edit that, so just don't be going back and pausing trying to be all up in my business. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just looking for the next earnings. Let's see if they even have it on here. No. So if this comes in May, June, July, August. So I'm looking for an expiration date around August. Also, let me know if y'all want a video on how I find the perfect contracts for my swing trades. But let's go ahead and look at our next ticker. We got Kava. Baby, Kava did what it had to do. Now, these premiums actually move really, really well. I did attempt to day trade it. I'm not the biggest fan of day trading it. But that's maybe I'm just not a big fan of day trading, period, because the swing trade did what it had to do, and we didn't have to look that much. Forgive me, y'all. I got a new mouse. Finally. All right. So again, travel back in time to our last two swing trade, the last 2 weeks of swing trades, and you'll see our setup here. What we were looking for 2 weeks ago was for it to, we knew that we had this high at 71.75. So 2 weeks ago, we were looking to see if it would pull back, hold this range, bounce back up. We would scale out at all-time high. And then last week, we wanted it to see it break over and pull back and hold it as support. Absolutely beautifully did that, y'all. Beautifully did that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rounded its way back up here. So we're gonna do the exact same method because this is all-time high. So we gotta use some tools that we got, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and delete these levels because I just don't like a messy chart. I don't like a messy chart. And I see that that's what I was marking off. So again, I'm just going to pull up. This time I'm going to do the Fibonacci extension. Is that what we did last time? From these lows to this new high that it made. Where do you expect for it to go past here? All right. So our 71.75 that we marked off. And got it more so 71.93, and we're definitely gonna adjust it to in there is the 618, and at 1 is the 71.97. We're just saying the next level up there at 92.98. Let's look on the weekly. 4 hour. Yeah, okay, we just got 72.98. All right, so looking at the on the 4 hour with the fib extension pulled up, we do see where it broke this resistance here and to break over to 786. I'd be looking for a pullback once again towards the 75.47. So of course we want to go ahead and mark those level off. Now typically, do I pull up Fibonacci levels this much when I'm charting? No. But the ticker requests that I got from my mentees were at all-time highs, which, but all right. So this is a tool that I use to help me to be able to gauge just based off of a mathematical calculation. So where would price most likely be attracted to pull back to? So, and that's where I got this from. I enjoy charting on my own, or that's why I'm using this, the 75.47. Wouldn't want to trade this to the upside at all. So let's go ahead and turn this off so we can just look. I would not want to trade this to the upside at all because, baby, you got to pull back at some point. At some point, okay? Because this just ended up going straight up. And y'all see we have this trend here for sure from where it did go straight up. From this low to making a higher low to an even higher low. So let's come down to the 1 minute. So if you are wanting to catch entry for this, re-entry, entry for the first time, whatever, right? Look at this beautiful trend that we have from here. All in here, all in here, all in here. Definitely, if price comes and it holds this support trend line, ride the momentum. I'm absolutely looking for it to break this support trend line and kind of pull on back towards in here, all right? So let's pull it up with our averages as well. First, period. Let me turn off some of these colors for y'all. And I'll change this trend line back white, or change it white. So again, the yellow is my 20 MA and the blue is my 50. That 50 MA right here under like this level, the high that we had, and then that 786 from the Fibonacci. Loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. Looking for price to pull back between. I'm a range girly. I'm not doing this gonna be like this exact price. I'm a range girly. Okay, go over there to the SMC for the exactness. Okay, and I like this 50 MA. So looking for price to pull back towards 74, in between 72 and 74 to find support and work its way back up. Absolutely ate. Marathon Holdings, look, we took a gamble. We absolutely ate on it. We took a gamble, scaled out. We made sure we scaled out, and all that we had running was runners because they had earnings on Thursday. They beat earnings, they beat EPS, missed on revenue. Right. So on Friday, child. So I'm going to say on that one, I really don't even have an update for that. We wrote it. It was a beautiful 2-week trade. We attempted it for the earnings. I'm going to go ahead and adjust. No, I'll leave this here. And looking to see if price pulls back and will hold 16 if you wanted to continue to play it. If it holds 16 and potentially work its way back up. JP Morgan. Now listen, I'm going to get there in a second. Let's go ahead and go to Starbucks. Starbucks came in and rounded its way back up. Y'all know what I'm saying? I was looking, hoping that it would lose this level. It kind of did a little bit, but this, what it's doing in here, I'm looking at this volume, right? This is a low volume pull back up. Starbucks is a terrible company. They have terrible income statement. They have a terrible balance sheet. They are a terrible company morale wise. I'm not trading this to the upside because I'm fully expecting for the move back down to be larger. So at this point, I'm just waiting for it to come up and meet a point of resistance. It met the 9 MA yesterday. We did come back up to the high of the earnings. Terrible crash. The terrible crash on earnings. Again, look at the volume. As price is moving up, the bullish volume is decreasing. I don't have any expectations for this, so I'm absolutely looking for this to pull back and reject. Now, again, I'm going to use the fib levels, okay? So I'm going to do an extension or the retracement from where it dropped here, and we'll just go ahead and do at the top here, down to the low, drag it over. Now, I know y'all might be like, Alexandria, what are you doing? Look, I'm going to show you. I want to mark off the 50% of this move, which is the 0.5 with the fib levels. So about $80.80, which is pretty much in line here with this trend line, right? A retracement to that trend line. And we can turn this off. And then let's pull up the average ribbon, which is there where the 20 MA is. Confluence, my babies. I am looking for this to continue to move up towards 80.86 and then looking for a reject and ride that sucker back down. Okay, terrible company. And we'll come back to MS. Morgan, Oracle. Y'all, Oracle is aggravating me. We have the exact same scenario as the last 2 weeks you see here. So travel back in time to the last 2 videos. We will catch it. We see it. It's happening. We just need to be patient. Target. Child, I thought you was going to keep dropping. I thought you'd keep dropping. It went ahead and pulled back up. But look at RSI. Still slanting down. Okay. Still slanting down. We might have some momentum coming in. Next earnings date. Oh, that's Starbucks that just had earnings. Oh, Target has earnings coming up. I'll be back. Looking for a reject at 167, but I'll be back. Check with me next week on that one. Now, let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is look at our tickers for this upcoming week, and y'all already know that I'm going to start off by looking at the sector ETFs. All right, so I put these sector ETFs, I like to order them off of like what I'm most interested in, so what I just really don't care about. So the first few that we're going to go through are the ones that caught my eye, and I was like, let me pay attention to this sector, and then as we go down the list, I don't care. So we're going to kick it off with XLF. Again, check last week's video, okay? XLF, and we'll just go ahead and look at these on the daily with our averages pulled up on them. I'm not the biggest fan of Friday's candle, but I am the biggest fan of the fact that MACD crossed into bullish territory RSI crossed into bullish territory. The bullish volume was increasing. And the weekly candle is strong. I'm loving it. This still has a push up to all-time high at 42.21. And then that's when I'm absolutely going to be paying attention to JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley. And we'll look at those individual tickers in a little bit. But I want to see what happens when it pushes to all-time high. When I see that it's coming up on a barrier, which is a level that I marked on my chart, I'm going to leave it alone until it gets there. Because guess what? I don't have to do much thinking once it gets to a level that I created based off of past price movement, right? Because you're going to get here and either reject and work your way back down to the 41.15, or you're going to get there and break over the 42.21. And at that point, I'm looking for a pullback to hold the 42 level and work its way back on up to all-time high. So the financial sector, my eyes are definitely on it. XLI, you made your way to this all-time high. Bars. We love it. 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 Absolutely beautiful. Again, we got the bearish crossover and it has not made a bullish crossover yet. At this all-time high, I would love to see XLI pull back towards 123, 124 and be able to hold that as support, possibly even, I'll say between 122 and 124, whether it holds this first level at the 50 MA or it holds this level at the 20 MA. I'm looking for that because all signs are bullish on the industrial sector. And if you know anything about seasonality and how the industrial sector does during election season and when there's nothing but wars going on in the world, I'm fully expecting for this to pull back, find support, and then break and make a new high. When we look at XLP, consumer staples, or if you're looking at a heat map, perhaps you'll see it'll be written as consumer defensive stocks. So that's where we're going to have Walmart, Home Depot, Target, all those companies, right? Discount stores, household products, things like that, confectioners, we see that. So again, here, not quite at all-time high, not quite at all-time high. If I go to the monthly though, you see that we've never had a close over 78. I'll just say 78. This opened above 78. This broke in this month and went all the way to 81, but we've never closed above there. Now, something that I want to point out is we clearly see that the 68 level has been relevant since 2021. As it works its way up, it wasn't a strong move up like this was from October 2023 to here. Just even look at it. I got some expectations that this is actually going to break all-time high and make a new high. I don't think it's going to be easy, right? Now, when I come down to the weekly, I mean, just look at that. Typically, when we get here towards this high of the 78, look how the moving averages are converged. They're just really choppy and price is choppy, right? Look at this beautifulness. We actually got a crossover. The 20 dipped down below my 200, which is the red one, working its way up. Now the 50 and the 100, the blue and the purple, they're not diverged yet. I'm not the biggest fan of that. But again, this push up looks totally different than any other time that it pushed up over there, above there. RSI is not oversold. Or overbought. It is not at 70 or above. I truly am looking for this. Now, if I'm expecting bullish sentiment, the candle has to make a low, right? I want it to pull back and make a low first. If we come down to the daily, I would love to see this pull back towards the 20 and the 50 where we have this bullish crossover happening, right? Would love to see us get a pullback back down towards about 76. I'll say 75.25 to 76 to hold this as support and then work its way back up to make that new high. So keep that in mind because, again, remember, we have Home Depot and Walmart reporting earnings before market Tuesday and Thursday. Energy sector, y'all. I lost 2 swing trades this week. It has been months since I've lost multiple swing trades in 1 week. Exxon got me. Make sure you come back for that video, which will be posted later on today. Because if I'm going to be transparent and share my wins and my mentees wins, I got to show y'all our losses too. That's where the real lessons are. So when we look at this on the weekly, actually, oh Lord, I thought it was starting its descent. back up. We did get this break below the trend line, and it did not break the low of the previous week. It held it. It didn't even break come down here. It came down to the close. The close of last week was, the previous week was $92.57, and the low of last week was $92.53, right? 4 cents difference. So it held the close of last week and worked its way back on up. I entered way too soon for calls, and I only bought 1 week of time. I didn't buy same week. I bought the next week, and I should have definitely bought more because it's oil. Oil is a little finicky. You need to buy time. I personally suggest at least 60 days. And if you can't afford that, when you look at the premiums, go trade something else. But on oil, because it's really finicky, it definitely moves off of the price of crude oil and news that's going on overseas. All right. So that was a misstep on my part, but lesson learned. However, we do have an inside bar. We do have a bullish Harami right here, but I'm watching to see, because I definitely would have loved to have seen price pull back towards this 89. I like for price to find support and before I get into the upside, or for it to meet a point of resistance before I get into the downside. Because other than that, if you don't wait on price to get to a trend line before you enter, you're entering in the middle of a trend. That's a bar. That's a bar. If you're about to enter into that trade and price is not at a trend line, baby, first off, if you don't have a trend line drawn and you're about to enter into that trade, you're wrong. But if you're about to enter into that trade and you have trend lines and price is not at that trend line, you're entering in the middle of a trend. Mind your business until it gets to that trend line. Okay, man? Go write that in your trading journal, okay? So I'm not interested in this because you didn't come down and find some support. So you're not going with the trend. You're in the middle of it. So I'm, all right? When we look at XLK, baby, I didn't think it was actually going to hold above the 20 MA, but that it did. Technology is just ugly. Technology is just ugly right now, and there's 10 other sectors on the market. So to be honest, if you want an analysis over technology, go somewhere else. Communication services, you did what we wanted. It actually held this 20 MA and worked its way up. Now, did Amazon? Barely. And this is how I know something big is coming for Amazon. This is how I know that something big is coming for Amazon. It will not break this 188. And as soon as we're all out the way, it's going to break this 188. So what I have to say with the communication services, and that's definitely if we're looking at Netflix, y'all see that. I know it's a lot of lines. That means that you can trust me as an analyst. Okay, I know. But just look at price, right? Working its way on up and all of this. But I think we'll have a little bit of a pullback first. And we see Disney. I'm so sick of Disney. We just gonna move on. Let's just move on. All right. And thanks a lot, and then the healthcare sector. Love to see it. It actually broke this trend line. I think last week we were looking for it to break down below and come towards the 137, but it's holding strong, as is the market. Consumer discretionary looks an absolute hot mess. I'm not interested in anything in that sector right now. And then I personally don't trade basic materials. I don't trade it. I do invest over there. Oh my God, y'all, look at that. And then let me click on utilities. Woo! Get y'all butts over there and start investing, all right? Y'all see that? Make sure you come back for the seasonality over the stock market video, which will be posted later on today, y'all. Because if you're not invested in the utility sector, ooh. Huck. Hey, mamas. Y'all look who's here. Hi, Sky. Say hi, Sky. Now get down. Now go away. All right, y'all. So I actually have the most random ticker, Victoria's Secret. It is in the consumer staples sector. They have earnings approaching, and I'm actually quite impressed by them. It has not been on the market for very long. It's not just going to make these huge swings. But one thing I want to show y'all, let's go ahead and look at the analyst rating. What is the 1 year price target? About 27. A $7 move on something that is like $20. Let's go ahead and measure that and see what would be the price and movement. Change percent, whatever. Let's measure this up to 27. Y'all, up to 27, that's a 38% move in price. Don't sleep on it. Don't look at this and just say, oh, that's not worth my time. Actually. All right. Now, do I think that this company is just gonna just like blow it out of the water? Probably not. Okay. Like, it's been downtrending since it came on the market, but they have some good things cooking in their books. I'm interested, but the setup, especially with Home Depot and Walmart reporting this week, and they are in that sector, in the same sector. I went looking for an affordable option, Victoria's Secret. All right, so when we look here on the weekly, y'all already know 20 is my yellow, the 50 is the blue. Now, on average, I'm going to pull up that ATR indicator, the average true range, just make it a little easy for me. On average, on the weekly time frame, this is telling me that Victoria's Secret moves from its range is about $2.77 in a week. So when I look and see that we're at, so we're just going to say $3. All right. So when I look and see that we're at $19.60, I would think in a week, especially a week when the sector has some movement going on with it, because let me not forget that we also have retail sales on the economic calendar. All right. So about a $3 move, 19.50 to 21.50, which is splitting the baby in between this 20 and the 50 MA. So I got my 50 MA at $20, so we're just gonna say 21, and then the 20 MA at 22.60. Baby, that's the range that I'm looking at trading right there. Now, I'm looking to enter in this range in here. This is not a ticker that is good for day trading. I did day trade it a few times last week before, so that I could give you that opinion before I put it on the swing trade watch list. It is not worth day trading to me. Swinging it. Yes, I already swung it down a little bit. Mind your business. All right. But this range from the 21 to 22.61, I want it. All right. You could absolutely wait for price to break above 22.61 to trade in here towards this, to trade up here towards this 27.17. So this is what your girl looking at, because we do have this bullish crossover. This is a bullish crossover here. Is the 20 coming down some? Yes, because we did have this 1 week in here where Victoria's Secret said, we got to the resistance trend line, we're going to reject there again. Okay, so I want this move here because what did we get here? We got a higher low. This actually ended up making a higher low. If you want to, a little inverted head and shoulder coming on up here, boom, boom, boom. It's higher low from here, baby. I'm curious to see what happens over 27, but I absolutely want to trade this from 27. So again, to pull this ruler out, if you wait for confirmation for the breakover, we'll round it up to 23 to trade it to the analyst high, 1 year price target of 27. That is a 20% move, about a 20% move in price. Buy time, buy at the strike price, 25, between 25, 26, 27, and eat it up. Now let's look at Home Depot, and that will conclude our watch list for the week. Let's go ahead and turn off the ATR. I always told myself that I'm going to come in and make this watch list less than 20 minutes. At least it's detailed, I guess. I cannot look at this with these averages pulled up first. Like, that's my last step. Let me look at the naked chart. All right, and this is just too obvious. This is too obvious. Okay, quite beautiful. Quite beautiful. Let me go ahead and change this to the... Maybe these would be shorter if I would edit them, but who has time for that? All right, we got this break of this trend line. Beautiful, December 23. I'm on the weekly. We pulled back. We hold in here. And we held here where, look at the crosshair, look across, right? Look how that was absolutely beautiful resistance. all in there, right? Now I'm gonna go ahead and mark my level off at the highs where it pulled back. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so this 344.88, we got this break off this demand zone, came up here, not quite to all-time high. Remember XLP. Rewind, pause, rewind, go back, look at XLP's chart. All right, now I'm gonna put my trend line right at the high right there, right? Did we get this move all the way back down to the trend? No. And on the weekly, it is like decreased range in the candles. I'm okay with that, to be honest. So I love where this came and found support at in here. I'm loving that level. And if I go ahead and let's put this, actually no, let's put our trend line here. Y'all see that? Hold on, let me put this trend line up here, right on these highs. That's not on the high. Y'all can see all my pores the way I'm leaning in. Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful, beautiful. This 345. I want you over this 345, and then we do have a gap down here, which I'm gonna look at as a supply zone, right? From the close of one day, because it gapped down to the wick of the next. So this range, let's turn it red. So we have this range from 354 to 361 that we want to watch. Safety is a break over to 361. If you choose to play inside of this gap, to enter when price is inside of this gap, you're accepting the risk. It's okay to wait for this to break over 361 because it's not going to break over 361 and pause. You're not going to make less money. Okay? That's safety. Be better than I am, okay? So to wait for that break, a confirmed break over there, again, to trade it into this 393, I'm absolutely looking for it. They have earnings Tuesday before market. Please do not try to enter into a large cap ticker the same week that it has earnings. Please. I don't want to hear about it. And if you do it, I don't want to hear about it. Don't even ask me my opinion on how to enter on Monday. Okay, I'm putting this on the list so that y'all can track it and tighten it up this week to look for an entry next week. Don't ask me nothing about getting into Home Depot this week, because I'm just going to look at you like, are you... It's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day. Be nice. All right. See how we got these averages right there? We got those roadblocks right there. And if I pull it up on the weekly, we got a roadblock right there with the 20 as well. Okay. Wait for this to break 361, because if it breaks 361, my baby, catch that thing on up to 393. That's a $20 move. And that concludes the swing trade, the Sunday swing trade watch list of the week. Thank y'all for the support, for always watching, for the engagement, all that and some. I'll see y'all at the top. Bye.